This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast, episode 100. We made it. I'm Shane.
I'm JP.
And I'm Ben.
And did we all of a sudden get another echo again? I hope not. Either way. Okay, here we go. Door_disc_golf, night_owl_pod, YouTube channel, where this is going to be streaming, and then doordisc.com, where you can buy all your disc golf needs. Keep in mind, we will have a table in Vegas that Ben and I, and possibly Jordan, will be sitting at. JP has to stay here in the frozen, cold north.
It might be up to like 40.
Yeah, we got a good day today. I went out on disc golf today, actually. We won't talk about how I did, but I went. So, all right. So if you had a red button sitting right directly in front of you, and if you touched it, you would immediately get $1 million. But a professional tour card holding disc golfer would disappear. Would you touch the button?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys are both savage. Okay. Well, I say yes too, so I guess it's not that hard. Who would you be most disappointed if you touched that button and they disappeared?
So it's just random. You don't get to pick.
No, you don't get to pick. It's just like all of a sudden they're gone, like a fart in the wind.
Yeah.
By the way, that's a horrible saying, because a fart in the wind, it just depends on which direction the wind's blowing and where you're standing.
Yeah. That's true. I'd probably say Kristen Tatara.
That's when you would want least?
No. I think
Okay.
for like the future of disc golf, I think that it would be best if she's fit.
I'd go Calvin. He's right around my age. I think we're the same age. Just seems like a guy I could be buddies with. Obviously a very good player, but I enjoy him on putting game and on, GK skins matches. So I just enjoy him just in general. So I'd be really disappointed just from an overall standpoint if we lost him.
Mm-hmm. I would too. His personality's great. I'm going to say Simone Lizotte. I think he would be. I think it'd be a real bear if he disappeared. His personality, his social media, his YouTube, just everything, just him. It would suck if he would lost, but $1 million. That's a lot of money. So here's the follow-up question. Would you push it more than once?
No more pro tour. Ding, 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 ding.
What do you think?
If I had any say in the like if I could make a deal that was like, okay, like I push the button once, I get one random, but on a second one, then I get to choose and we go back and forth, then I would. But like if it's just rolling the dice every single time, yeah, that's a tough decision. I got to know more about the stakes. Like, is it like, are they gone forever? Do I get to resurrect them in some capacity?
I think it'd be worse to choose. You're like choosing.
No, easy. Joel Freeman.
Yeah, but if you can, choose just really low level. I mean, not to say that sounds bad, but you could choose people that were like further down on the pro tour list
with no hesitation.
Their lives don't matter.
Wow.
What's your grudge, man?
Yeah. Hey,
Joel.
Remember, Ben, you're going to be seeing these people pretty soon.
Probably haven't heard of them.
Cool. My fake beef with Joel Freeman is more or less that I have seen him on multiple occasions essentially try and make up his own rules. And I just don't like that. Like the one instance, I forgot, was it Music City, or it was one event last year where like he tried to take relief that was not marked as relief, and the entire card was like, "Now you can get in there and play that." So then he was like, "Well, I'm playing a provisional," And then like the TD was like, no, you're getting a stroke for a misplay. You could have played that. It's not marked. And then there's like a couple other times that he's done similar things where he's like, well, it's the rulebook says this. Well, no, you're just misinterpreting the rulebook, pal.
Yeah, he tries to play within the gray when there's no gray. He tries to straddle that line when there's no line to be straddled. Like, yeah. So, I think I would be good with the mill. Like, I think because I think I could turn that mill into something else too. But yeah, I don't know if I would push it twice, especially if I knew who was going to go away. I don't know if I could push it twice. I could take that one random stroke, but not if I knew who it was. So, because you kind of hold your breath and just close your eyes and hope nothing bad happens from it. All right. So there we go. We all got $1 million, and Ben might have more than $1 million. And then JP, the Pro Tour wouldn't exist.
I just buy it.
True. Well, you can start the live tour, you know?
Yeah.
Just take all that money and start pushing it into all these fantastic.
What would you call it?
And then I could buy Simon all the people that got off the tour and bring them over to my tour.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. But if
Here's
they lose
the question:
disc
what would you call it?
Yeah.
Oh, the
what would you call your tour?
Disc Golf Tour. No, the World Disc Golf Tour.
Wasn't there already
Pretty
one?
good. There was a, what was that called? World. Yeah, it was the World Tour, wasn't it? I don't know.
Full Throttle Extreme Tour. That's what I'm going with.
You got to deepen your voice when you said full throttle.
Yeah. I just go full extreme. Everybody gets 2 mullies per tournament, and if you reach a certain incentive, or if like you shoot a hot round or something, you get to instantly just pick somebody, and they don't make the cut. That's cutthroat. That's my tour.
Make it the vengeance pick.
This is perfect.
I shot a 17. I shot a 17 down. The person that I'm chasing in front of me, guess what? Didn't make the cut. You know, sorry about it.
17 down. That guy with 15 down. Sorry.
That tour sounds perfect for full contact putting.
I agree.
Yeah, if you reach 30 seconds, you get to like hit somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's my dream league. Like, it's full contact disc golf, and it only happens when you reach your time limit. So, and you get one play or one random hit a round, but it's only in the putting circle. It's not anywhere else, and you just get to come out of nowhere. You don't have to announce it or anything. Just hit them. I think it's a good idea.
Vince McMahon will buy this?
No, but The Rock might. Yeah. So, all right. What'd you buy? Thrower, hanger, flipper? I got some stuff.
I got a lot of stuff.
I bought one thing.
Of course you did, JP.
And why don't you start with your one thing?
Okay. It's a good segue into your multiple things. I picked up from a member on the Lone Star team, on the Ranger team. I picked up a Frio, a Bravo Frio. Should be here on Friday. It's pink.
Ooh.
Well, I'll go two because I only have one. I got a Grace. I picked up just a stock run Grace that we just got into the shop. And that's a thrower. I've already thrown it. And I bottom stamped it too.
So it's not like, is it a Kristen Tatar one? Or is it just like
no, just a stock run. We do have the Kristen Tatar ones, but we got them on all teal, and I just wasn't feeling the color of them, so I picked up a stock stamp. And it was blue.
You want me to mustache it?
It's a beautiful figuring. Yes, as a matter of fact, because I showed Jordan my mustache. Not this one, the one on the bottom of my disc that Ben, man, I wish I had him in here. I would have showed you. That Ben stamped.
I can grab one. Hold on.
I saw Ben stamp it.
Well, and it was funny because I came back and that was the first one I picked up. I turned it over and I was like, what in the world? And then all of a sudden I saw him crouched over by his chair with his little thing.
Nice.
Yeah. exactly. So, all right, JP, let's hear it.
Right.
Do we have enough time? Hold on. Wait, do we have enough time in the podcast to hear these or?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Today I got 2 Frios, an Alpha and a Bravo, and a Lima Nimitz, which I'm excited to try out. Just higher speed, and I wanted it to, I don't know, weak noodle arm, so I tried to get it up to speed a little easier. And then on, well, what night were you doing inventory at DoorDesk?
Thursday night, because they dropped Friday. Yeah, Thursday night.
Oh yeah, so yeah, we were hanging out Thursday, and then I picked out a bunch of the MVP stuff. So I got a Fission Envy, 3 of the Lazatles. One was for Dempsey.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. He's like, I'll take this one,
Yep.
and this one. I was like, wow.
And then what else I get? I got one of the special edition James Conrad Zeniths, which is like my new go-to distance driver. So pretty hyped on those. And the Lazatle's pretty sweet.
I did get a Lazattle. I lied. So I did get a Lazattle. And I did buy
6-time discs.
Yeah, I was just saying I did buy one of every one of the sticks.
Oh, I only got one thing this week.
Oh, I forgot. So I got 14 things this week.
Technically, you got some last week, and then Sunday started the new week, so you could have gotten your one thing this week. Yeah,
right. Well, yeah, that's true. But made the store look like it did really well. So, all right. So here's our preview. So we got a new podcast announcement. We're going to talk about the media agreement. We're going to talk about the Superb Owl. Thanks, Ben, for that. We'll talk the Beyond Disc Golf. And then we'll do a little Caddie talk with Ben. And then we will talk about who we think the next $1 million contract is. And then maybe we'll get into Vegas picks. Too early? I don't think so. We can do it. And then random question by Ben. And then we'll do shop updates. So with that being said, I'll get right into the new podcast. So Bobby Brown, Uncle Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I are going to be doing a industry podcast, and we don't have the name exactly, but basically what we're going to do is take some sort of TMZ-ish item that is within disc golf, and we are going to actually contact those individuals directly and see if they want to give us a snippet or come onto the shop and defend themselves, and then we will have a good conversation with them. So we are actually going to have good topical banter about exactly what that person is being accused of. So for instance, when Ben leaked to the Lone Star that Emerson Keith was going to Lone Star, we would reach out to Emerson Keith and said, hey, you want to talk about it? How does it make you feel? And then we might have reached out to Ben, but probably not. So that's kind of what we're going off of. We don't have a name yet. So if you have some name suggestions, go ahead and put them out there, but look forward to that. We are planning on dropping March 7th will be our first recording date, so it'll be dropped there shortly after that. So the week of March 7th is when we will have our first episode, and we'll do little snippets on this podcast and on Disc Golf Answer Man. And then I think that's it. That's all I need to say about that. So want to go start going about the media agreements for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, JP?
Indeed. Yeah, so we didn't get to it last week because we had Josh on, but there's a major post-production coverage for Disc Golf Pro Tour this coming season. So some of the big things were Jomez is continuing their MPO lead card for all Elite, Pro, Elite Plus, and playoffs. And they've also picked up FPO lead card for same thing. So that's big news. Jomez did, I forgot how many years ago, have FPO coverage, dropped it. Now they're picking it back up. GK Pro has dropped off the lead card, obviously. We'll get to them in a second. Gatekeeper has picked up MPO 2 for Elite, Elite Plus, and playoffs. Ace Run Productions has picked up Chase card for FPO, for Elite, Elite Plus, and the playoffs. And then Central Coast Disc Golf is going to do MPO1 and FPO1 on their channel for all silver events. And then GK Pro is focusing this year on just doing their skins, but it's going to be a large event that anybody can go to at least a day or two before the tour stop. So they're actually going to have larger crowds. They did it a couple times last year, getting, you had to buy tickets for it and had some success with it. I mean, it wasn't like the big money skins matches, but like the smaller skins matches that they do at stops, and you had the opportunity to kind of check it out. I think they did Des Moines and a couple other places. So that's kind of cool.
Now, did Gatekeeper get pushed off?
No, Gatekeeper has MPO chase card. GK Pro dropped off to focus on skins, and then Ace Run Productions is new this year as well.
Okay, great. Because I wonder what Run Productions.
What's that then?
I was just gonna say, I wonder what it will look like for silver events with Ian Anderson and Central Coast, and if he will then be doing live coverage then on DGN. Just my thought. Who knows what that looks like, but interesting to see.
Yeah, that is interesting. If he will be brought in to do silver events specifically, and then also do the post-production for the silver events as well, doing commentary with Philo or someone. I don't know.
I don't mind having him in. I think some of the commentary that him and Philo have, I think there's an essence of trying to be too cool. So hopefully it doesn't go that direction. I mean, I love Philo, love Ian. Like, I love what they do. But that duo, and maybe this is an unpopular opinion, is entirely too played out, if that makes any sense to me. I mean, some of the one-timers that Philo puts out there and then Ian runs with them. I'm glad they split up Philo and Nate Doss.
Yeah.
Because Nate Doss hangs on those things and just runs. So, I think if they can, I don't know what I'm looking for. For some reason, it just doesn't appeal to me. I find myself muting competition in the shop because of some of the banter and commentary that's going on there. Like, it gets a bit redundant and it gets a bit, like I said, kind of too suave, too cool for school.
I think it's the comfortability of Ian and Philo doing commentary for years for Central Coast, and then bringing them into the booth, and they just have that, they just mesh like that. And then it's more laid back, more easygoing. Whereas you throw Nate in and you don't really know what he's going to say sometimes. And everybody's like, okay, I can't believe you just kind of said that. Or you're just taken aback sometimes by what comes out of his mouth. Not like it's bad, but you're just like, okay, that's the same thing with like Juliana.
Yeah.
For FPO.
Just to echo that point, I think it just is kind of like sometimes they don't, like, they are commentating when it's just like, they're commentating for like a group of just their friends, and they're not like, we're not in on the joke all the time. Sometimes not everything is really that funny or relevant, but like they're commenting to like just their homies, and then and they kind of lose sight of that.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's a very good way to put it. I think they'll probably end up moving away from that type of banter, that witty banter. Because you can see they're bringing in a bit more professional voice characters and actors through like the new host of PDGA Radio, Upshot. They're bringing him in as well, Charlie Eisenhood, and I think these guys are good. I think they fit a role very well. I don't think they're the bright individuals that we usually are used to see on commentary, but I think they fit a live role very, very well. Now, post-produce is a whole different story. I love that type of stuff. I love the banter. I love, the Jomez guys. They're all fantastic. Like Big Sexy, Barry. I mean, I won't complain about that. But the live, I have to mute it. I have to mute it 90% of the time. So, but I'm glad. So the media agreements, did it give any terms or anything, or is this just for this season, JP?
I don't know contract length. Guessing it's just the season. I haven't heard anything about how far Jomez has signed or any of the other ones. So maybe they're going to renegotiate, or maybe GK Pro might decide to all of a sudden come back into the fold of having post-produced. Who knows?
Yeah. I think Jomez has lead card for 2 more years, if I remember rightly, because they paid that $500,000 for
That's
5 years, or was it 3 years? Okay, so yeah, so there you go. I hope that it all turns out well, and I don't know of any reason why it wouldn't, and I'm glad that Jomez has FPO lead card.
Yeah, and I forgot what event it was, but wasn't it Kona and it was USW DGC, right? Like Kona and Page did a commentary for that, post produced. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious if Madison and Erica Stinchcombe will actually end up on Jomez doing Two Hot Geese for them.
Honk.
Yeah, honk. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know if I've really listened to a group or 2 female commentators that I've been like, this is awesome, but I haven't had any that I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like, I can listen to them.
Holly Finney is one that I sadly say did not enjoy what I've heard her do commentary.
What did she do commentary for?
He did some FPO commentary, I think, for GK Pro once or twice, and then I was like, Okay. I don't remember, or maybe it was Gatekeeper. I don't remember who it was, but she does it.
Okay,
like
I haven't really heard. Yeah, Own would be fun because she's so bubbly. Like, so Jordan and I were, what was it, Sunset Hills in Ledgestone, and we had just finished, we just started, and the ladies were just finishing at Sunset Hills, and we were just starting as the old guys. And I think we were like 6 or 8 cards deep. I was just getting ready to start. I think Jordan had already started, or he was already finished. I can't remember exactly. But Own Scoggins, I think it came out on commentary or live coverage where she comes running out of the clubhouse just screaming and yelling like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It was like the funniest thing in the world. And it was truly just like super funny. She was like trying to congratulate her friend, but she got right in the middle. Like, I think it was Katrina Allen that was putting or something like that. And Katrina Allen had to stop and wait for her to calm down. And then she realized like, oops, I forgot. I'll turn around and come back. But it was really funny. She was like truly, thoroughly excited about her friend doing so well. It was, I don't remember who it was, but it was pretty good. So, all right. Well, let's talk about the Superb Owl and see what our picks are. I don't know if we have to get super in depth with what we think, but are we doing Eagles or Kansas City?
Bang, bang, bird gang.
Okay. So an Eagle fan.
I'm on the Eagle train as well.
You're on the bandwagon as well? They have one of the easiest schedules in the regular season and faced some of the worst teams in the playoffs. Not only that, but they also lost, or they won to a team that dropped like all 4 of their quarterbacks due to injury.
Well, yeah, I mean, they took out the 49ers quarterback during the game, so that's just part of it. I mean, that's not their problem that they beat the crap out of them. So, but they did have the best offense and defense, I think, is what I heard. I'm not confident that Mahomes is still going to be 100%, even though Hurts isn't going to be 100% either. But I think if they can get to Mahomes early and like knock him around a little bit, just to see how he reacts to that, I think they have a good shot.
All right. What do you think, Ben? Anything other than just that the Eagles are going to win?
To be very transparent, I don't watch a ton of the NFL. Other than that, I just saw, I did see a statistic that both teams have the same record and have scored the same number of points. Both have the same number of all-pro players, including both teams having a Kelsey brother being an all-pro player. So it seems like it should, should be a good game. Let's go with that.
I like that. All right. Well, I'll be on the other side. I'm Kansas City. I think the familiarity with the big game is going to help them. But Philly, you never know, man. They're scrappy. And it's not the team. It's just Philly itself. The Eagles and Philadelphia, they have another level when they get to that. So who knows what that's going to do. But let's see. So I think I'll go with KC, and you guys got Eagles. Should we put something on it, or JP
Blizzard.
has to not buy a disc for 1 week?
Easy. Okay.
Easy. Yeah, right. He's gonna be sitting in the corner shaking, like, oh, I don't know what to do. All right. I'm excited. I'm more excited about the commercials, just like everybody else in the United States, except for maybe like 7 people. But I don't usually watch the Super Bowl as it is. I just wait for the recaps on YouTube to come out. And then you can watch them all at once there. Oh, all right. YouTube and Jomez have dropped Beyond Disc Golf with Simon Lizotte. What do you guys think of it?
Ben, you can go.
Okay. I thought it was a really nice breath of kind of fresh air into the off season. JP and I both watched the On Tour series that I thought it was pretty good. I know we both kind of had kind of the similar thoughts of what we liked and what we didn't like. And it seems like we're on the same page again with Beyond Disc Golf, that it's just something different. I think over the last kind of couple of years, we've just seen, as far as off season content, podcasts and the putting game, and just kind of more playing, if you will, or practice rounds, or it's people trying out discs, or it's I switch manufacturers. I'm going to throw all these discs and tell you what I like and what I don't like. And this has just been something a lot different. If you haven't watched it yet, it's basically Simon Lizotte working his way around the country and finding kind of, I guess what I'll say is, for like what makes disc golf tick, or what makes these people special, or what, like, the people within disc golf. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. In the first episode, he was not too far from his house. He was up in Vermont, and he met with a guy who owns a brewery and built a disc golf course on his property and hosts people out for a bi-weekly league called the Money Game that's invite only. And it's just people that have been playing it for years, including Jeff Spring, CEO of the Pro Tour, and then people just have dinner. So it's really cool to see, people in different clubs and what they're doing, and just, see different parts of disc golf that we don't necessarily see, and more or less kind of the common man, I think, is what I've seen through the first 2 episodes. It's just like, we see so much of the Pro Tour, so much of the pros, but really AMs and just people in general just playing casually are really what make up the sport and what make the sport go.
Do you think the Money Game would have been featured if it wasn't for Jeff Spring?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Just solely because, like, throughout the episode, I think his name was Matt, he had just been talking about how, like, all the people he met and people that work for him at the brewery and people that are, like, his really good friends are all part of this Money Game. So I think that was kind of, like, one of the big pieces to it, because he just talked about how he, like, posted on, like, Facebook that he was having this tournament, and then, like, it kind of grew and more people showed up, and then it's just kind of become this group.
Yeah. Well, he cooks dinner. He does all that stuff. There's beer at like 3 different holes on the course that they can stock up with. I mean, it seemed phenomenal. It was honestly something I watched, and it almost reinvigorated me. And not that I was down on disc golf, but it kind of re-enthused me. It re-excited me. It relit a fire about doing things and being places and encouraging disc golf. And so, yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed that first episode.
I think it's just cool seeing because we know how far disc golf reaches, but just what other clubs and other people are doing around the country that we have no idea about. You're like, oh yeah, this league goes on, this goes on, but it's like, yeah, like the relationships, like Ben had mentioned, the guys at the brewery, and then he brought on the caretakers, and one day he hopes to pass down the owner of the brewery hopes to pass down the house and the course, and just have that tradition carry on and carry on. And I think that's super cool.
First 2 stops.
Hopes. I think it's more if he just dies.
Well, yeah, I'm right, but like. I mean, yeah, but I mean, someone like if eventually, like if the next guy dies, like it'll get passed out. Like if there's, you could continue on.
Yeah,
I was going to say
Succession story.
I was going to say the first 2 episodes, just unbelievably beautiful scenery in Lake Tahoe and Vermont. Just incredible.
Yeah. Well, and kudos to Simon for being able to get around and do these things. And as a host and a personality, I don't know if there is a better person that could have fit that role more fluidly, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how he was able to do it. I don't know the amount of time in which it was shot, but having a kid, getting married, and then being on the pro tour, it's like, how are you able to travel between all these different places and have Jomez come with you and shoot it, right? But it's really kind of nice, like the side vignettes you get of him talking to the people, and then him in his car, like, okay, setting up the situation where he's like, okay, I'm going here for the weekend, and this is what's going on, and it's just that side of Simon, the genuine, authentic side that you get of just his thoughts and personality coming through, which is super cool.
Yeah. It's awesome. So I'm excited. I haven't watched the second episode yet, but I am super excited about it. And I'm a Jomez patron. So I think we get them like 2 or 3 days early. So I think the third episode we actually already have. So I'm going to probably jump on there tonight, and that'll be my wind down time after we get off this thing. So I'm excited to watch them. And I think it's something that disc golf needs. I think it's like Ben had alluded to with the Holy Shot. Like, I feel like that was a disc golf documentary that was what I was hoping the Fierce documentary was. And I think this even more so. I think it's something that brings light to disc golf, and it doesn't bring light to these shining stars of competition that are fairly unobtainable basically by 99% of the population that play disc golf, that throw discs. It's something that it shows like these are the guys outside your back door, your neighbors, your guy across the street, or the dude across town that has some acreage that just wants to do some stuff. It kind of brings light to the people that make the sport tick or the heartbeat, So I'm really happy about it.
Beyond coverage too, I think it's a good thing to show other people outside of disc golf that you want to get in. It's something that might pique their interest.
Right. Yeah. So I give it a 5 stars. It's a 10.
It's a special edition Lozado.
Yes, exactly. But all of them shipped at once. All of them shipped at once instead of splitting up orders. All right, Ben, let's hear this Caddie talk, man.
Yeah, so it must have been last week. I was texting JP about it a little bit, but somebody asked for like their hot disc golf takes on Twitter. And, I have a precedent of just dropping things on Twitter. No regard for anything.
Not at all. I've never done that before.
But my hot take was, I think that on the Pro Tour, every caddy should be a certified official. That's my hot take. I think there's a couple of different reasons for it. I think it's just, the big one is that it just like brings a level of professionalism to caddies. I've personally understand we've seen it at like the local level, like a B tier or C tier or whatever. Maybe it's just your buddy, your girlfriend, your wife, your boyfriend, whomever is on your bag. Not a big deal, but like Brody, everybody, all these people that are just dropping whatever their views are, the Pro Tour is like, we got to keep pushing to professionalize it and to mainstream it and to like get it to X, Y, and Z where we need to go. Like, I think a good first step is like formalizing and professionalizing like caddies. Because right now, like, there's just people just jumping out of the crowd, just like asking like people if they can caddy for them, like just local, like in the on tour documentary, somebody that was just a fan who bought passes asked Matty O if he could caddy for him. And Matty O, of course, is Matty O, and he's just like, sure, man, and whatever. like I don't
exactly.
Like, to me, that's just like not like doesn't get us anywhere if we're just Happy Gilmoreing this, and it's just And then but then I think like the biggest thing is that if that happens, right, where we're having like these Happy Gilmore moments of like people just coming out, potentially there could be a misplay by somebody's caddy, and you are technically like every caddy is technically an extension of your responsibility. Yes, that could stir up some drama. I think the example I used with JP is like an eager fan that's just happy to be there, or like is getting in the way of something, or like pick something up that they're not supposed to, or like whatever, or picks up a disc that they think is out of bounds for somebody, but it's still technically in bounds, or it's not marked, or whatever the case may be.
What if somebody picks up Albert Tam's cookie? Isn't it Albert Tam that marks with a cookie?
Marweed.
Andrew Marweed. What if somebody picks up Andrew Marweed's cookie and eats it?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I think it's just like if something happens, yes, they are technically an extension of that player, but there would still be just an uproar. Like, whatever happens, like the leader, if it was the leader and their dumb caddy did something, obviously, like, yeah, if you're like the player, like there is like an expectation that you tell this person, like, don't do anything I tell you. But again, like, it's just one of those things where you grab somebody from the fan, you're playing with fire. So I went back and forth with this person for a little bit, and they were just, and I was like, well, all caddies on the PGA Tour have to be registered and certified. And they were like, well, they don't have to take a rules test like in disc golf. I was like, yeah, but disc golf, this is the closest thing we have to like certifying somebody of something. Like on the PGA Tour, all the caddies have to be vetted and registered by the PGA, and like they have to credential them for each individual tour stop. So like they already know who these caddies are. These caddies on the PGA Tour have been caddying for multiple people or for multiple years, or most of the time they're already PGA members where they already have to take certification tests. So that's kind of the long-winded route there, but I'll open it up to you guys.
No, I like that. And I think it's relevant to the PDGA rules update that just happened, where they changed the caddy rules for all but Pro Tour and Elite events, that you can have a child caddy for you as long as it's your child. Now, so they have defined that, they have changed that. So, because if it's under your supervision, that's fine. So for me, I don't know if there's a strong argument, in my humble opinion, to have a certified rules official as a caddy, because the way the rules are structured at this present moment, it doesn't matter what the caddy has to say anyways. Even if they are certified rules official, it's up to the players. If there is a change in that, I think it is important for the caddies to have a rules official. So, and then we make the comparison to PGA quite often. And the PGA is, caddies on the PGA or PGA are just a million times different than what we expect out of a caddy from the PDGA. So in disc golf, our caddies are there to hold our bags, give us a drink when we want to, and lighten up the mood. In the PGA, caddies are paid to know absolutely everything about your game, your clubs, your distances, what the course looks like, where the divots are, where the drains are, where the cart paths are, what the carry is, what the wind does. The knowledge that caddies have to have in PGA is a way different from what the expectation currently is with the PDGA. So I don't know if I really have a strong inkling to say that I agree with you, but with the way the current rules are established, that's my take. What do you think, JP?
No, when Ben and I were talking, it makes sense to, I think, because we said anybody that's on an elite card or major card probably should have a good idea of what the rules are, even if those caddies aren't there to make decisions on anything. Because I mean, they shouldn't. They should still understand the rules of like, oh,
they
we're
can't.
in this. Huh?
They can't.
That's what I said.
Yeah, you said they shouldn't. No, they can't.
Well, they can't, or they shouldn't. They shouldn't get involved in decision making.
Right.
but they should still understand a situation that they're in. And if they're supposed to be an extension and help the player, then maybe they can guide the player with advice on, okay, this happened. Here's what I think. And then they can like converse, and then like that player, they like go about, you know, giving advice to whatever the rules infraction is or whatever the ruling is. I mean, I don't know. It just, to me, having as many people know the rules on a card that maybe someone may or may not know is better than having one person on the card not know and having to explain to them.
I would agree on the card. But the caddy's not on the card. So I think
the player.
Well, yeah,
they're going with the player.
Yeah, so is the media.
But they're not, technically they're outside of the field of play.
Media's not. So the people with the cameras that are in their hands, they're right with the players, right in the course. So, nevertheless, the media and a caddy, they're not a comparable thing. So I'll digress on that. With caddies and the current way the rules are set up, it doesn't matter. I'll agree with you that to have someone that's knowledgeable about the game and the rules can be a good person to consult with. And ultimately, caddies, that's exactly where we should be going. So I agree with you in essence. In essence, I agree with you. I think it's a completely valid idea if the game progresses to that, as far as how we police the game. Because I think that makes a lot of sense. And if disc golfers want the most out of their game, the best idea is to get the most knowledgeable disc golfer or caddy they can about disc golf, right? But as a mandate at this point, I don't know. I wouldn't say yes. I don't know if I would. I mean, I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't be mad if that happened. But in the same regard, like, if I would want, I don't know, like JP, if you came out and caddied for me, I would be super happy about that. But you're not a rules official right now, right?
No.
Yeah. Ben, are you a rules official?
I have to be. I'm a TD.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Considering we're doing a tournament together.
I think my main point is that I think, like, for me, it's maybe just a personal, like, opinion, but it's just like, what is the point of some of these people carrying their bags? They just make these golfers look like prima donnas, like they can't carry their own bag or they can't pull their own cart. You just want your friend or your girlfriend or whoever they're with you. They're providing no value. JP and I talked about this too, that there's so many times where we've seen somebody's girlfriend just on her phone. She's not even watching the round. She's literally just there, just so she's like doesn't have to walk amongst the crowd or whatever, and doesn't care.
Social media is very important, Ben. Come on.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like you can't. Like, it feels so counterintuitive to me if we're trying to progress the sport to a level of true professionalism, and we've got someone doing TikTok dances while carrying a grip six bag, not paying attention to what's happening. Like,
yeah, what's the difference between having her on the bag or walking with the crowd? Yeah, like there's, maybe you want that person close to you, like they're your, like your, what is it? Their totem or whatever, like their special thing to have with them, but you can see them like 10 feet away because they're just across that yellow line or the rope. I don't know.
It's like them. I won't bring the comparison up. I don't know if it's appropriate. It's like juice box. Like there are people that serve a purpose. It may not be a great purpose, but if you get me a juice box, I'm happy. Do you remember that movie with Will Ferrell and
Kicking and Screaming?
Kicking and Screaming.
Oh, okay. The soccer movie, yeah.
Was it Dick Buttkiss or something like that?
Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka, that's who it was. Yeah, it was Ditka. So, yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Ben. Like I do in principle, I agree with you. I think the more the merrier that understand the sport, that can help. But at the present moment, like you can consult identified rules officials that TDs market. So it has to be staff that's recognized at that tournament and identified. But just a random a rules official, they have no say in anything. So they can't make any decisions. Yeah, sure, you can have conversations with anybody you want to have conversations with that'll help you. And I think that's where being a rules official, like you said, in essence, we want to elevate the game to a more professional level, which I don't know if that's truly what the majority of disc golfers want, but on the on the Pro Tour, I think that's where it should be going.
Well, I was just specifically talking about the tour. I wasn't talking about
just the tour,
just the tour. Yeah, I wasn't talking about any local ABC, whatever.
Yeah. And I think with the regulation that we're seeing with caddies and how tight they're getting with stuff, I mean, I think you looked over the rules at Vegas. Like, they're getting pretty tight with caddies now. Like, caddies aren't just anybody you hand a badge to. You have to register that individual person. They can't pass it off. So I think they're going that direction. I really do. Like I said, just to be a naysayer, that's kind of where I'm going, that direction. I would love to see it happen. I think it would be only good.
I mean, selfishly, I feel like I could, I've seen enough of these dudes play over the last 5 years that I think if I'm in the place of someone's girlfriend, I think that they could climb up 3 or 4 slots, potentially make a cut, potentially get higher up the cash line if their caddy's not doing TikTok dances and Snapchatting and Instagramming and saying, hey, let's not throw a forehand here. Let's lay up with a nice little backhand.
Yeah. Well, if disc golf caddies actually took the time to walk courses, look at the danger, look at the hazards, look at your landing points, look at distances, find markers out on the course that can tell you, okay, that tree right there is 400 feet away. You want to be just past that. Or, hey, that green, just as you get over that edge, there's a rock wall. If you go off that rock wall, the likelihood of roll away is going to, there's so many things a caddy could do. Not only that, learning the courses that you're playing, but if they know the bag you throw, they know the discs you throw, they know how far you throw them, they could recommend, pull the gator out of your bag, or we're going into Vegas, only bring, rescue mids. You don't need a mid. Just things like that they can truly help with. It's only going to be better. But I think there's also right now at the top level, I think there's a bit of an ego thing that I know my discs best. Nobody can help me. And who's going to pay someone that much other than 3 people in the sport have that type of money, right?
Yuli as a full-time caddy.
Yeah.
Oh, the gentleman that always walks with him, huh? Is that like a family friend, or does he actually pay him?
No, he actually pays him, and he fined him or yelled at him one week because he said that he was parked on a hole, and it turns out that he was outside of the circle. And he said, don't ever tell me I'm parked again until we get up onto the green.
Dang, Yuli, take it easy. You respect your elders. Come on. That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. I would like to see more people do that. That'd be cool.
When, Paul had that guy come over from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Brody actually used the same caddy that he had at, excuse me, at DDO for Worlds. I think he went back there and used the same guy. So it's kind of cool to see recurring people, or, you get to a certain tour stop and pick the same person or give them a call or whatever and just be like, hey, interested? You did for me last time.
Right. Well, I like it, Ben. I like the caddy talk, man. I think that's awesome. And I think if the sport progresses that way, it's only good for it. My humble opinion, is the sport ready for it? No. But it should be.
Well, if you don't see me at the table, listeners, it means I'm caddying for somebody at LVC.
Just a little sign, be back soon.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, caddying.
Yeah.
All right. So the next $1 million contract, who do you think it's going to be? And we'll start with Ben. How about that?
Oh, man. There's a couple that come to mind. I I could see it being Gannon, and I could see it being Gannon at like X amount of million, but longer in length. Not with Prodigy. I think he signs like maybe one or two more with Prodigy, and then I think he gets, because he's so young, I think he could get like, let's just throw out like 8 years, but like 2 million. So like I think I don't know if it's like $1 million per, but I could see like $1 million dollar amount with Gannon, like guaranteed, but over a longer period of time. Not so much like the short, like the quick $1 million hits, like, you know, like we just recently saw. But I also,
you argued with me on last week's podcast, or 2 weeks ago, by the way.
sounds about right. I mean, I don't know. I think somebody is going to pay Gannon in a few years. It's definitely not going to be Prodigy, but I think somebody will pay him that amount of money. The other one is, again, down the line. I think, you know, Calvin's in that boat of could, but it's not going to be with Innova because we're never going to know how much money it's actually worth. Yeah,
it'll be Discmania and it'll be Burr.
That's pretty set on Discmania.
Oh man, hold on.
It's gonna be Discmania, but it's gonna be Eagle.
That's exactly it. When I said Discmania, it made me think it's gonna be Eagle because his extension comes up this coming year. So does Burr's. Mm-hmm. So it's basically whose is announced first and which company is it going to be. Prodigy is definitely not dropping $1 million on Gannon. First of all, I don't think they have the resources to do so.
Boxes?
Yeah. And Discmania, they need to hold their franchise player, and the only person that is moving the dollar signs on their roster right now is Eagle. So,
and they also just added Ratana to their lineup, his lady companion.
I did see that. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got to keep them happy.
Yep. All right. Go ahead, JP. Who do you think?
Yeah, I think Burr and Eagle for sure. I mean, I don't know if someone like Aaron Gossage, where he's young enough too, where he could tie him up long term. And then FPO, I think Kristen eventually might get that kind of money as an extension from Lat 64, just because of what she's been able to do. Mm-hmm. And beyond that, I don't know. I mean, Paige is already probably $1 million, right? $1 million a year, somewhere around there.
Yeah, who knows? So
I don't, FPO wise, I don't know who else could command that right now. Maybe if Valerie Mandahano gets, hot in the next couple of years, she could do that. But
I think Kona.
She's gonna have a big comeback here to justify her contract she has now.
So yeah, I was gonna ask who's gonna be the next 500,000 for the women, because that's kind of going right now for the highest paid that we know of, the highest publicly paid women. I don't know. Ella Hansen is probably the closest, in my opinion. I don't know if it's through Discmania, but I think Ella Hansen will probably be one of the next higher paid individuals if she brings her stock up this season.
Yeah.
If she starts winning a few, pulling a few down, which, she's the world distance record now holder. And from what I understand, she's been working on her putt, and she has a phenomenal putt now. So we'll see.
I think Haley could be up there. I mean, if Haley does a full tour and again, gets back to where she needs to be and does a full tour and just plays really well, she's a major champion now. I think she could be in that mix as well.
Yeah.
But there's obviously conditions to that.
Yeah. And speaking of Kona said something about her thyroid or something like that she's having some issues with.
Yeah, I think she was supposed to get it looked at either today or tomorrow. And I don't know, she said she was going through a lot of stress and she was worried that it could be cancerous, but they're not going to find out until they have the biopsy. So wish her luck.
Is stress a cause of cancer now?
No, but she's stressed out over it.
Oh, she's
that it could be
stressed out.
cancerous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
she was.
dang, that's causing cancer now too. I am screwed.
I hear you.
All right, Ben, you got any? Or did you already give us one?
Haley was my FPO,
Oh, yeah,
and then Gannon and Calvin.
Okay. All right. So with these $1 million and $500,000 contracts, do you think that there will be a manufacturer or a whoever the sponsor or endorser is? Do you think that they are going to get ahead of the leaky leakers and actually purposefully leak stuff out? Kind of how professional sports all over the world do, or any U.S. sport. I mean, these contracts get leaked all the time, and purposefully, and they manage the leak. They give the information to the people so they can actually get ahead of it and manage what the narrative is. Do you think disc golf companies are going to become that suave and savvy?
No. I think there's just too many moving parts. Everybody in the Pro Tour right now is just too chummy with each other. So there's just always too many people in the know. And I think part of it is that when people do switch bags or people are doing things, for some reason they find themselves out in the open at fields or courses or whatever with this new bag, and people are seeing that and it's getting out there. I think there's a way that they can control a slow leak, maybe throw a little Flex Seal on it, but it's never going to be perfect where they can, do it on their own. I think there's just too many moving parts, and I think people just need to stop hanging out with each other for a bit. If you're going to switch bags, isolate yourself.
What do you think, JP? You have an opinion on it?
Yeah. The crazy thing is a lot of these signings are happening really early in the tour. I think the Calvin deal, that when he signed extensions in Kyle Klein's, those happened in August, and we didn't hear until almost, later in the year or whatever.
Simon signed an extension in April. We didn't hear about it.
Well, that's true. But, yeah, it doesn't seem like companies want to control it. Like, they really could care less if it gets out, and they don't. I mean, if they were to get ahead of it, they wouldn't even probably care if it was them or not. So, or maybe they're like, hey, put this out there and then get it to Drew, and then we can just have a big, big party on Reddit and see what happens.
I mean, Josh said it himself that he didn't care. He was like, oh, this sucks, but good for us. People are talking about us.
Yeah, and then he said he could spin it how he wanted to spin it after all this information leaked. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I think they do care. Josh definitely gave us a level of frustration. I mean, he said there was a level of frustration there, but then he just said, get over it. It's done. Let's move on from it. If he could have controlled that narrative better, I don't know if there would have been any more positive to come out of it. And I don't think there was any negative to come out of it. And I think the same thing with Drew and Simon, other than, from what I understand, Simon texting Drew and then Drew being like, I'm going to share this without asking. I don't think there's anything done wrong with it. And I know Drew goes on, I love Twitter. Drew goes on to defend himself being like, hey, everybody does it. I agree with him. I don't care. I don't think any of that information is, if it gets to people, then it's not secret. They didn't do a good enough job. They're not holding their cards close enough to their chest. Like you said, Ben, you need to go isolate yourself, go up into the mountains and just don't talk to anybody for a couple weeks until your announcement comes out. I think it would be smart for manufacturers to start looking forward into controlling that narrative and controlling the leaks. But I agree with you, Ben. I don't think they're suave enough. I don't think there's enough in the marketing department to be able to actually do that. There are very few companies out there that could probably do it, and I don't know if they would want to.
I think it's just going
No.
to be a matter of when companies start structuring the times of their deals differently, and then we can expect a true, a true signing period, kind of like soccer. It has their 2 transfer windows. So, we always, in the soccer world, you always know what's going to go down and something big is going to happen. I forgot where I saw the interview that somebody suggested doing October to October, which would make sense. Because then we know that, shortly after October and right after the Pro Tour Championship, we could start seeing some movement. So
can the PDGA or the Pro Tour actually make that as part of a tour or a card carrying professional? Do you think they could regulate that by saying, if you're going to carry a tour card, your contracts are going to go from October to October?
No, because their contracts aren't with the Pro Tour. They just have the card.
Well, but as part of the card, could they make that?
No, I don't think so. I think
it'd be unreasonable.
It's just like the Pro Tour doesn't really do a whole lot with the manufacturers outside of them advertising and trade of just like, please put our Pro Tour stamp on these discs and then we'll give you some advertising, or you're going to pay us for advertising. I don't think that they really have any jurisdiction over anything, just like no manufacturer really has any jurisdiction over the decision making of the Pro Tour. I think it just is going to come down to the manufacturers deciding that this is probably in their best interest, and that, if I was a manufacturer, I'd want to do October to October, because then if you get a big signing, you can still get somebody while a majority of the country is still playing disc golf to drop a new release like in November before people, take a break. But that's just me.
Right. Yeah. I think it'd be interesting if they could build in some sort of transfer window, like you said, or a contracts window into the Pro Tour, where if there are any contracts being made, that they have to be released at this time. And I know it's not possible comparing a team sport that their teams belong to a league and comparing it to disc golf. You can't. And it's like trying to do the same thing with golf. It's just not possible. So I'd like to see it. I think it'd be fun. I'd bring a level of drama and excitement and a little more showmanship to the PDGA, but I don't think it's possible. I'd love to see it though. Maybe we need to put a bug in Jeff Springs' ear. So
MVP gets hit with the financial fair play.
Yeah, exactly. Kangaroo court you go. So, all right, Ben, we're going to skip Vegas picks because we still got another week to do those. Plus, we need to see who's actually going to be hurt and not hurt and all that stuff. So, and we are running up on almost over an hour. So, let's go ahead and get into our random question. And I'll give some shop updates. So, red, blue, or blue, red
or blue pill, gentlemen.
Ben. There you go.
Red or blue pill. What are we feeling tonight? Last time you took the red pill, JP. And last time you picked the red pill and went to jail. So.
That's true. All right, we'll go blue this time.
All right.
Okay. Your blue.
You just totally guided your question, by the way.
No, guided the decision. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
so
fine.
Blue pill is a little bit less intense. No one's going to jail. What is one piece, or what are pieces you can do multiple of media, so YouTube, TV, music, movies, that because you guys have kids, that your kids have watched that has now become like a guilty pleasure, or that you have found to enjoy?
Oh, okay.
That you might have just been like, originally you thought this is stupid, and then you're like, okay, I see this now.
There's too many. I hate to say it. So I don't think this is too outlandish, but when the movie Frozen came out, That was when my daughter was, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. She was pretty young. And that craze went over to the United States and every social media platform that they could have been. I don't know how many times I watched that by myself. Like the kids would start watching it and they would leave the room or go somewhere, go to bed. I'd continue it and I'd finish it. So I'd have to say Frozen is one of the most recent, or Big Hero 6 was another one that they loved it.
Is a good movie.
Oh man, but I watched it so many times. So those are my 2.
Yeah, let's see. Gotta say, probably Encanto is one.
It's a good one too.
Yeah, and especially like they have the sing-along edition, so they have all the words on the screen as they have all the songs come out. I wasn't like big into Dude Perfect right away when Dempsey would start watching it on YouTube, but like they've grown on me. I just thought they were kind of annoying at first, like all the different personalities. And I was like, no, there's some funny stuff here.
Yeah. That's funny. Dude Perfect. Like I used to watch them back in college. Maybe it wasn't that long ago. Yeah.
Trying to think of who else. Oh, who's it? Preston? I forgot what his name is. But he's like this, he was a streamer. He'd stream Minecraft and some other games. But then he started getting into doing, like, I don't know if it's like treasure hunts or all these other weird things. Like he has a warehouse, kind of like Dude Perfect does, but they just do wacky stuff inside. It's like, okay, this is kind of like gimmicky and like weird. Not like, but then like you see him do some funny stuff and you're like, can't help but laugh, but he hasn't watched that in a while either.
I depressed and I want to like slam my head against the wall. By the way. I don't know what it is about him. That's how I discovered Mr. Beast.
Okay.
Was through my kids. So, and I'm a huge fan of Mr. Beast now. Like huge fan of Mr. Beast. Yeah, so I think those are mine.
Nice. Mine, quick. I don't have kids, but my wife, she's a big fan of Dancing with the Stars, and I am just a junkie for all things reality competition. And at first I was like, eh. And then like as she progressed to keep watching it, then I like got sucked in and I'm like, oh, I know this celebrity. That was awful. And just like having like, you know, you just had like with that, you just had like those little commentaries of just like, oh, that was cool or that sucked. And then now I'm just like engaged, just like invested.
Did you guys watch, was it Masked Singer?
Yes. Yeah. My dad loves that. That was another one that I got sucked into. Same type of thing where it's just like, this is dumb. Like when you first watch it and then same thing, you get sucked in trying to figure out who everybody is.
Our 3-year-old Lulu, every time, like towards the end when like the celebrities, you know, get revealed, she's like, take it off. Like, we're just talking about the helmet, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Gronk was on that one, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty easy to figure out, though. All right. Anything else to that question there, Ben?
No, that's it. Just pretty low key. So expect something crazy for next round.
He's going to double up on the craziness, red or blue. It doesn't matter.
He's not really going to have 2 questions. It's just going to be one.
Did you say you had a random question, Shane?
Well, that was my $1 million button.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It was kind of, I usually try to do something more thought provoking in the beginning, but I like the $1 million button. I was watching it was like a YouTube short and that came up, but it was more just like $1 million and a random person dies. And I was like, holy moly. So I don't think I'll take it that far. How about you just lose your disc golfing ability? So, all right. So we will. Yeah. So with the shop updates, DoorDisc.com is where you can find these things. Clash discs will be coming soon. So Ben and I will be putting them together in order for Clash at the Creek here in Green Bay. And we will be purchasing a lot of Clash discs. So a good portion of that will be going into the shop as well. And the rest of it will be used for player packs. We have a huge Lone Star disc order coming in as well. The 6-time Macbeth stuff is actually almost gone. So if you get on there, there are still a few on, but believe it or not, the Lunas just simply aren't moving. So if you want a Luna, get a Luna. The Lozatos, they're out. We do have only 4 more coming in as our split order. I don't know why they didn't just throw the 4 on there. That's not a lot. But the Lozatos, we will have 4 more coming in pretty soon. And JP, you've hit your limit already. You can't buy anymore.
Yeah, half the stock is on this podcast.
I only had one. Oh, did you get one too, Ben?
No, I was gonna go online and get one like with the rest of the masses, but got beat on this one. Happens sometimes.
The Lozatos went quick. I mean, we had some huge orders for the 6 times as well. And I thought I only had 6, but I actually had 12 of each. But yeah, they went really quick. I was laying in bed and I had to silence my phone because it was just like the Shopify thing. Change. I was like, stop. Actually, I wasn't saying stop. I was like, please keep it coming. And then, so the last one is Graces. Graces are on the site. So we got to restock of Graces. So we do have the Tatar World Champ signature Graces, and we have stock stamped Graces. So get on in there. I put them both on the feature page. So as soon as you pull up the site, there it is. And then I actually officially made the move to move our website over to a more product-centric website. So you'll see some improvements on the website coming here pretty soon. I was told within 30 days the site will be done. I gave up because I suck at it, and that's not my forte. So I did find somebody, a professional, that is going to migrate our site over to a new theme. And it'll be product-centric. So keep an eye on that. And
still Easter eggs?
Still Easter eggs, yeah. Oh, see? Good paying attention. If you jump on DoorDish.com, every week I add an Easter egg to the site, and an Easter egg is just a super cheap disc. They're always premium plastic. And I think the most expensive one that I put out there so far is $2.99. And when I put them up, I'll throw something on Instagram, which is door_disc_golf. It'll be either on our stories or in the feed. And I'll just say, hey, happy hunting. It's Easter egg hunting time. And there'll be that $2 or $3 disc or $1 disc or 1 cent disc. I don't know. I'll play fun and I'll just throw something up there. And you just got to go search our website. So people are getting pretty savvy. They're finding them pretty quick. You did?
I found a couple of them that were sold out. So
Yep. I have now found a way that they are not searchable by price. So you'll actually have to add them to your cart before you will see the price. So they're going to get a little bit harder here coming pretty soon. So, but we have pushed out 3 of them and they have got their disc. So I'm pretty happy about it. One was a Captain's Raptor. The other was a 5-time Paul Macbeth ESP Buzz. What was the third one? A Wasp. That's what it was. Yeah, it was a Wasp. So there you go. Way to keep up on it, Ben. All right. I think outside of that, the only thing we need to know is WTF on the OF.
We're switching it up to Patreon.
All right. So
apparently OF is a little too risque.
Can we just call it the Only Friends on Patreon? Only Friends of the podcast?
Yes.
Well, I think we'll probably still do Disc Golf Only Fans on Patreon, but we'll just do Disc Golf OF or maybe Night Owls OF.
Yeah.
On Patreon. I don't know. We'll come up with an inventive name. Or maybe we'll do Toys for Discs or Toes for Discs. How about that one?
I don't want other people's toe picks for our discs. That's what I don't want. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also, the entire episode would just be him listing what he bought if he had toe pick money.
Right. That is the perfect first episode. Is JP listing what he would get if he had toe pick money. So what we'll do is I will personally do research and figuring out what the average foot pick model gets a month. And then you have to spend that accordingly.
Oh my God.
That's going to be our first one.
You sure you do that in your own home so people don't like find you looking at Joe pick money?
Oh no! I'm going to make sure
that I'm looking at. I'm not looking.
So this is not an appropriate search at the front desk at the motel.
No. I mean, it's your business, but if you want to lose business, I mean, hey.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Maybe I'll do it on my phone. I don't know. You know what's weird is when you're searching something on your phone while you're in your car. I was scrolling through like Facebook or something like that, and I got really self-conscious. No, it wasn't Facebook. It was Instagram. I was kind of rolling through the reels. And I got really self-conscious because I was outside church waiting for my daughter to come out of confirmation class. And the lady next to her were doing the same thing. We all know each other, of course. And I'm like flicking through reels. And as reels, you know, you get the girls that dance and you got, you know, whatever it is. And there was even this disc golf girl that was like in a bikini the other day. So I'm like searching through these things. No, she was playing disc golf in a bikini.
Oh.
I don't remember who it was. But it was just like, and it wasn't anything like lewd or indecent, but I just feel wrong, especially sitting. So I'm like trying to like go through these things quick and hoping the lady's not looking in my window.
Yeah, you guys give each other that awkward stare through like the windows, like a little side eye, like, what are you looking at? And she's like, what are you looking at? And then like you quickly look down and you're like, I'm going to get out of here.
I wasn't looking at anything, I swear. So yeah, so please stop doing those on my reels. Like, I don't know how they come up on my reels, but, and it was the Door Disc Golf reels. Like, it's not even my personal reels, it was Door Disc Golf reels. I just like, every time I see a disc golf, I just like. All right. So outside of that, we will be seeing you and listening and hearing, we'll be seeing you and giving you audio here next week. So we will continue it. I will start my road trip to Vegas Monday. And then I will be gone for 2 weeks. Ben is going to join me next Wednesday. We're going to try to do this remotely as well. So episodes should not stop like they did last year. So outside of that, anything else, fellas?
Just remember to like, subscribe, and share whenever possible with the podcast or the YouTube channel, and leave a review on your favorite podcasting app.
Mm-hmm.
Tip your bartender.
Yes.
Tip your bartender. And there are 2 discs that I still need to send out. I have them. I pulled them. I just need to send them. So for those of you who know you are, I'll get them sent. Outside of that, keep us on par. And, here's a winky thing. See ya. Peace. I gotta turn it off, don't I? Gotta hit the stop button. Now, peace.